Hi y'all, welcome to my channel, Nisha Chosen by God. I'm back at again to bring another word, The title of this word is Stop Looking Back. God done gave you 10 signs. Stop looking back. God done gave you 10 signs. In Exodus chapter 3 verse 7, it says, Then the Lord said, I have assuredly seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because of their taskmasters. I know their suffering. Verse 8, and I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them out of the land to a good and broad land, a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Verse 9, now behold, the cry of the people of Israel has come to me, and I have also seen the oppressions with which the Egyptians oppressed them. Verse 9, come, talking to Moses, I will send you to Pharaoh that you may bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. In these verses, the word out stood out in these verses. And what is God is saying? He wanted to bring them out. But out of what? Out of the old mindset, out of the hand of the taskmasters, out of bondages, out of captivity from the enemy, out of toiling, out of getting mistreated, out of slavery, out of the relationship, out of the work environment, out of fornication, out of the chains, out of the trap, out of the idolatry. God wanted them to be free. And that goes for you and me. Okay. So God sent 10 plagues, right? He sent 10 plagues to Egypt to get Pharaoh to let the people go. Let me ask you, how many signs have God given you to let something go? How many signs God has given you to let something go? After the 10 plagues, Pharaoh finally let the people go. After the 10 plagues, Pharaoh finally let the people go. But look, when they came out of the slavery to go through the wilderness, at first, the people were happy. They were glad that they were saved from Pharaoh. They were glad that we ain't got to toil and work hard like that no more under Pharaoh. They were glad to be free. But Pharaoh, he decided, hey, what we gonna do? We gonna let these slaves go? Oh, no. We need them. Let's go after them. So Pharaoh sent his army. He sent his army to go after them. But get what? God made a way. He made a way for his people, that they were able to cross over through the Red Sea. But after all that God had did to get them to the Red Sea, to get them to cross over to the Red Sea, even after Pharaoh and his army and his people were coming after them, the Israel people, they still, once they got saved, they started to complain. Now, when you're moving forward, you can't be looking back. When you're moving forward, you can't be looking back. Okay, glance and keep moving. How about that? Glance, keep moving. But when you're moving forward, the enemy coming after you. When you're moving forward, the enemy still coming after you. It don't stop him. He here to do his job, and you need to be here to do yours. But the Israel people, they started to complain about not having nothing to eat. Then the Lord gave them some meat. Then the morning came, he gave them some bread. And then they became happy again. Okay, so that's just like when they got saved, they got freed out. They were complaining for, oh, Moses, you done brought us all the way out of here in this wilderness and we ain't got nothing to eat. God heard them again, gave them something to eat. They got happy again. Y'all would be like that. Then they carry on, they got thirsty. So the people, they started complaining again, and God heard them. So he gave them water. God had did all that for them that they needed. And these people were still saying that they should have stayed in Egypt. These people still were saying they probably should have stayed in Egypt. It didn't come easy with God. And it didn't come easy with Pharaoh. But when they were moving forward, they didn't know that they were going to be having barriers and blocks that were going to come in their way, stumbling blocks. They were going to have them little blocks. But they still need to move forward and start looking behind. When God done gave you some signs that you need to let go of something, when God done gave you some signs to keep moving forward, don't keep looking back. How many signs God has given you? How many signs do you need? You be asking for signs and God give them to you and you still do not move forward. God said, go, move forward. I'm right here. But the thing is, we be so held captive in our mindset to the point that will have you looking back to the familiar. So just like the people that was running away from Pharaoh and getting away from Pharaoh, their mindset wasn't changed. It wasn't being transformed yet. Like Romans chapter 12 verse 2 say, let your mind be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Let it not be conformed to this world. But the thing is, they were so used to the familiar. So when they started having little issues like, we ain't got water, we don't have any food, God gave it to them. But they still was complaining. When they started looking back at their old life, and there's a lot of time when you moving forward in life. It's a lot of time when your new season is coming up. You keep looking back into the old life, to the old things that you went through, to the old people, the old jobs. God trying to get you to move forward. You can't keep looking back. And that's what the Egyptians were doing. That's what the Israel people were doing. They kept moving forward, but they kept looking back. Kept looking back. You gonna run into something if you keep looking back. What you think? You keep looking back to your old life, your old mindset. You're going to run into a lot of things more than you should. And the people probably were saying, well, Pharaoh, yeah, he was our taskmasters. They beat us, but they didn't kill us. Pharaoh and his taskmaster, they made us work extra hard, but we did it. That's how people do. When it's time to move forward and you don't came out of something, you start looking at the things that you don't been there and been like, well, it probably wasn't that bad after all. If it wasn't that bad, what you were crying for? If it wasn't that bad, what you wanted to leave for? In the first place. In the first place. If it wasn't that bad. So just like the Israel people that was enslaved in Egypt, if it wasn't that bad, because God said, I heard them. I heard their cry. So I'm coming down to deliver them out. So when you came out of something and then you start looking back into your old life, when God done gave you signs and he done brought you out, and you keep looking back and you start to think once you done got out of it, oh, it probably wasn't that bad after all. Oh, I probably could have stayed at that job. Oh, I probably could have stayed in that relationship. Oh, I could have probably stayed around that family member that mistreated me. Oh, I could have stayed around my friend that mistreated me. It wasn't that bad. If it wasn't that bad, why you prayed your way out of it? If it wasn't that bad, why you cry your way out of it? If it wasn't that bad, why you ask God to get you out of it the first place? Then the people probably were saying, Pharaoh, they fed us food that wasn't good, but at least we ate. Do you see do you see people? Spiritual ears, spiritual ears, spiritual ears, spiritual ears. Do you see what I'm getting to? Do you see that? Even though the people brought them out, they were still thinking about the old things that they were going through, the old ways. They kept looking back into what was familiar. And God already had said, I heard them. I'm coming to deliver them out. See, when you get out of something, sometimes you don't even see the wrong and the mistreatment once you was in bondage. But you were crying out to God and pleading God to bring you out of it. So sometimes when you come out of something and God deliver you from something, it's not the same when you were in it. Think about it. When you be into something, as like a relationship or something, I'm gonna say that as a relationship, and you going through whatever you going through, and you're not happy or whatever the case may be, and you asking God, Lord, I'm just tired. I need to get out of there. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to do. Or whatever it is, you get to a point or to your ending point that you ready to get out of it, and you finally get out of it. But you don't went through it. You don't went through the cussing, the abuse. You don't went through it. You know what I'm saying? You don't went through it. And you wanted to get out of it, didn't even know how to get out of it. And then when you finally do get out of it, then you start looking back. Oh, it probably wasn't that bad after all. I mean, hey, I'm just a messenger. I'm just saying. That's exactly how the people did. They started looking back. But when they were in it, they were crying. They wanted their way out. They wanted to be out of it. They finally got free and still was looking back to what was familiar, to their old life set. That's why Romans chapter 12 verse 2 says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind got to be changed. So even when you come out of something, you can be free for something, but your mind got to be changed. Because if not, your mind is held captivity to the enemy. You can't think straight. You keep thinking about what's behind there, what back there. And God's trying to move you forward. He's trying to move you forward. And you still looking in the back. We need to wake up, people. We need to wake up. We need to wake up. Change your mind. Your whole mindset for what you were familiar to. We so familiar to the same thing that it's hard to change your mindset when you get freed from something. When you get out of something, it's hard to change your mindset. We're so used to the same thing. And we need to wake up, America. We really need to wake up. I just pray that God just wake up his people. Transform their mind. Don't let it be conformed to this world. Don't let it be conformed to this trend. Like, who are you? You need to know who you are as a person, as an individual. Remember, if God brought you out of something, he'll bring you to it and through it. Just like he did them, brought them to the Red Sea. And they went through it. Even when the enemy were behind them. Even when the enemy was running behind them. But even during the wilderness, they had stumbling blocks. Barriers coming. But you still got to go over it. Even when you walk in this life with God, it's not gonna be easy. But you got him beside you and moving forward. So when you moving forward, stop looking back. And even if you want to look back, glance back and keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. Change your mindset. Your mindset got to be changed. Your mind familiar to what you done been through. Your mind familiar to the bondages. Your mind familiar to the generation curses. Your mindset have to be changed in order for you to think differently. In order for you to do differently. And let people think you weird because you do stuff differently. It's okay. They probably think I'm weird, but I don't care. That's the thing. I'm not following a trend. I had to realize who I am and who I want to be. Who am I? Not what the world want me to be, but who am I as an individual? Who are you? God said he came down to deliver them out. And he want to do the same for us, deliver us out. Free us. Spiritually and physically. It's deeper than what y'all think. It's deeper than what y'all think. Thank you for joining my channel. What I always say is repent, pray, trust, and believe. Repent, pray, trust, and believe. And until next time.